Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. I've been gone for a while. I've been dealing with some personal stuff, and I didn't really want to weigh in with what was going on in Afghanistan because so many of those subjects could get me banned from YouTube. But this particular thing could still get me banned from YouTube, but it needs to be said. Someone needs to say the quiet part out loud, and no one is saying the quiet part. So, before we get started, how about you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below because this one is going to ruffle some feathers. From CNN Politics, Woodward Costa book, worry Trump could go rogue. Milley took secret action to protect nuclear weapons. And remember that he took secret action. 2 days after the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, President Donald Trump's top military advisor, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley, remember the guy who's more interested in combating white rage than combating the Taliban, single-handedly took secret action to limit Trump from potentially ordering a dangerous military strike or launching nuclear weapons, according to Peril, a new book by legendary journalist Bob Woodward and veteran Washington Post reporter Robert Costa. Woodward and Costa write that Milley, deeply shaken by the assault, was certain that Trump had gone into a serious mental decline in the aftermath of the election, with Trump now all but manic, screaming at officials and constructing his own alternate reality about endless mass election conspiracies. Milley worried that Trump could go rogue, the authors wrote. You never know what a president's trigger point is, Milley told his senior staff, according to the book. In response, Milley took extraordinary action and called a secret meeting in his Pentagon office on January 8th to review the process for military action, including launching nuclear weapons. Speaking to senior military officials in charge of the National Military Command Center, the Pentagon's war room, Milley instructed them not to take orders from anyone unless he was involved. That is not his job. The president is the commander-in-chief, and General Mark Milley serves at Donald Trump was the commander-in-chief, and General Mark Milley serves at the whims of Donald Trump. Donald Trump one day could say, I want Mark Milley to be my chief of staff, and the next day say, screw that guy, he can go straight to hell, because he serves at the enjoyment of the president. And that has never changed, and that will never change. No matter what you are told, you do the procedure, you do the process, and I'm part of that procedure, Milley told the officers, according to the book. He then went around the room, looked at each officer in the eye, and asked them to verbally confirm they understood. So instead of pledging your allegiance, essentially, to the Constitution, I will obey and defend the lawful orders given to me by the President of the United States. I will protect and defend the Constitution. They are swearing allegiance not to the United States of America, not to the Constitution, not to the President, not to the Commander-in-Chief, but to some bureaucrat, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And herein lies the problem. Let's jump over to Cornell Law School, Legal Information Institute, 10 U.S. Code 894, Article 94, Mutiny or Sedition. Any person subject to this chapter who, with intent to usurp or override lawful military authority, refuses in concert with any other person to obey orders or otherwise do his duty, or creates any violence or disturbance, is guilty of mutiny. Well, he didn't really do mutiny, but he definitely did the first half of that. With intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of lawful civil authority, which the President of the United States is the lawful civil authority over the United States military, creates in concert with any other person, which in the CNN article he obviously did, revolt, violence, or other disturbance against that authority is guilty of sedition. So creating disturbances to the flow of authority is an act of sedition. General Mark Milley is guilty. If these accounts are true, he is guilty of sedition and needs to be charged in a court-martial. I don't know if a chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff has ever been court-martialed, But he needs to be court-martialed under Article 94 of the UCMJ because this sets a bad example. Section 3 fails to do his utmost to prevent and suppress a mutiny or sedition being committed in his presence, or fails to take all reasonable means to inform his superior commission officer or commanding officer of a mutiny or sedition which he knows or has reason to believe is taking place, is guilty of a failure to suppress or report a mutiny or sedition. Again, speaking to senior military officials in charge of the National Military Command Center, the Pentagon's War Room, Milley instructed them not to take orders from anyone but himself unless he was involved. Sounds like all those other officers should also be charged with violating Article 94 of the UCMJ. And B, the punishment. A person who is found guilty of attempted mutiny, sedition, or failure to suppress or report a mutiny or sedition shall be punished by death or such other punishment as a court-martial may direct. So I'm not calling for them all to be executed, but that's on the table. They should all be tried by court-martial. And if the handed-down sentence is death, then these men and women in leadership positions of our military should be put to death under, hold on, let me read this before YouTube gets mad. 10 U.S. Code 894, Article 94. Again, mutiny or sedition. They should be tried under this. And if found guilty, the law clearly states a person who is found guilty of attempted mutiny, sedition, or failure to suppress or report a mutiny or sedition shall be punished by death. That there's no gray area in that. And as someone who likes to live their life in a shade of gray, this is one of the few things in military law that is not a shade of gray. If you conspire against the commander-in-chief and you're the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, you shall be tried under Article 94, and the penalty of being guilty is death. So if what CNN reported is true, then Mark Milley and all those senior officers who conspired with Mark Milley to undermine the legitimately elected president, Donald Trump, to undermine his military authority, his civilian military authority as the commander-in-chief, they should all be tried. And if found guilty, they shall be punished. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is unacceptable. I was in the military for 9 years, medically retired. This is unacceptable. This is shit. I don't understand how people are cheering about this. Now imagine Joe Biden is president. Now imagine if Mark Milley is conspiring behind the back of Joe Biden. If he's willing to conspire against one commander-in-chief, what makes you think he won't do it against another? Do you think his loyalty is party affiliated? Or is his loyalty his own self-interest, guided by self-interest? You have Lloyd Austin, who was on the board of Raytheon, who creates these missiles and rockets used to bomb civilians in third world countries. You think it would be in his best interest to ensure military conflict continues. So if Joe Biden says, we want to end foreign conflicts, guess what? They're going to make sure it is done as poorly as possible to ensure that we're still going to have to drone strike innocent civilians in sandboxes because freedom. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.